Hi, I'm Becky. I'm a decorator here at Carlos. Welcome to the Workbench. Today, we're gonna make a beach cake, but I'm gonna focus on the marbling technique when I'm covering the cake in fondant. I'm going to use 3 colors, white, blue, and a lighter shade of blue. First, what you wanna do is knead out your fondant. You want it to be soft and free of air bubbles. So there's a couple ways you could go about marbling your fondant. You could kind of just throw them all together and just kind of mush them around. But what I like to do is kind of just form them into little tubes or snakes. And they don't have to be perfect because you're just gonna smash it all together soon. So you could put them all together, and then I like to just twist them. So you have like a demented candy cane type thing, and then you're gonna knead this whole thing together. So once you've done that a couple times, I like to just get a knife and I like to cut it in half. Then you're left with this sort of effect. Push down on one piece, push down on the other. And depending how big your cake is gonna be how much you're gonna use, but I'm just gonna cover a little cake so I could just stack these on top of each other. I'm gonna get some cornstarch so my fondant doesn't stick to the table. Then with my rolling pin, we're gonna roll it out. We like to roll our fondant out pretty thin, so it takes a little bit of time, but this also doubles as an arm workout, so it's not the worst thing. Okay, so this looks about right. I'm gonna grab my cake. You could either roll your fondant up on your rolling pin, which is the safer way to cover your cake, or you could just pick it up and throw it on top, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. So now I'm just kind of feeling around for air bubbles, and then I'm gonna slowly start pushing the fondant onto the cake on the sides. And you don't need to pull on the fondant because you don't want to tear it because it'll easily tear. You're kind of just pushing where it fell, just kind of onto it. Then taking my pizza cutter, I'm going to cut around the bottom edge. Now I'm just kind of pushing up against the cake. This is going to ensure that there's no more air bubbles on the side of it, and it just keeps it all looking even. And it looks pretty good. So this is the marbled cake, just plain with nothing on it. If you wanted to, you could pretty much just keep it like this because it looks really cool. Or we're gonna make it look like a beach cake. So first, I am going to take some buttercream and I'm gonna lay out where my sand is gonna lay. And for sand, we here use brown sugar and then form it with your hands. Once you have your little sandy island, we're gonna add some water. And for that, we use piping gel, and we just add some blue food coloring to make it look like water. And then I'll use a little spatula just to kind of fill in any empty space. And I use like an upward motion, just kind of pulling on it to give it like an effect like a wave. And then I just kind of pat it so it looks like the ocean. Then I have some umbrellas. I have a little surfboard. You could stick him in the sand. I have some flip-flops that could be hanging out near the water. And I have some seashells that I made earlier. Then I am going to pipe on some coral. Today I'm going to use purple. And if you have any holes in your fondant, this is a great way to cover that up and no one will ever know it was there. So for this, you kind of just, again, kind of like a drop line situation, I'm gonna use a constant pressure on the bag. I'm gonna start at the bottom and I'm gonna kind of keep the tip of my bag on the cake the entire time while still piping out buttercream to sort of replicate the coral in the ocean. So now I'm just gonna add some bubbles kind of wherever there's open space. You wanna start with a larger bubble at the bottom and then gradually get to smaller ones towards the top. Once you put your bubbles on, you could just pipe on a border. You could keep it like that, which is the basic shell border, but if you want to get really fancy, go back to your brown sugar And we're gonna put this on top of what we just piped and add a sand border. And there you go. Now you have this adorable little beach cake ready to go for summer. This is also one of our most highly requested cakes here at Carlos. We make hundreds of these all day long, and they're super cute. So if you guys have any requests or comments, just leave them down below. And thanks for watching.